It has been 1 year since the 2023 Asian Cup kicked off in Qatar. The country hosted a second major tournament after the 2022 FIFA World Cup. Now that the dust has settled, what legacy do these events leave behind? And what lies ahead for football in the Gulf states? Hello there and welcome to Football Now. 12 months ago, the Qatar national football team set out here on home soil to defend their crown as Asian champions. The country once again delivered a fantastic festival of football for the 18th edition of the Games, just 12 months after hosting the 2022 FIFA World Cup. On this week's episode of the show, we're going to take a look back at the combined success of those two tournaments, as well as understand the vision behind Qatar becoming a sporting nation.
I think we've created a new sort of standard and benchmark for mega sporting events and hosting. I mean, it was a very different experience, obviously, from a fan perspective, but also for the teams. You know, the teams were staying in one hotel. They weren't really moving. There were no flight or train travel. It was just literally a 20-minute bus ride to the stadium, to the camp, and back to the hotel. I think this is just the beginning, and we have the National Vision 2030. We have other mega sporting events that we're bidding for down the line. I think everything started from 2006. The Asian Games was the beginning, but since then we've hosted so many international tournaments across all sports. And so I think, you know, there is that kind of infrastructure now. There is that capacity. There's that expertise that exists locally that can be tapped into at any given time to host anything, any tournament.
A key part of the legacy these tournaments leave behind is the family-friendly environment and atmospheres created when going to the matches. Here in Qatar, many fans got to experience the local culture and meet fans from other countries, maybe for the very first time.
Really been nice and respectful. You know, Qatar is a safe country anyways, and it's been really nice and welcoming for all of us.
I enjoyed a lot. At the World Cup time, my son is only 6 months old, so we saw 3 or more matches with him, and with no issues, no issues, nothing.
They organize it in a way where you don't feel stressed when attending a game. You feel like everything's already put in place for you and you just follow, and I love that.
The games were so much more accessible for families and women in general, and it felt like a safer environment.
I feel like, especially with the crowds, you know, everyone is so much more welcoming and everyone really cheers on one another. And I feel like when you're watching the games, we're all connecting on one love, which is the sport. So I think it's really nice to see diversity, not just in men and women, but in all ethnicities.
In the UK, I think it's just too rowdy and too overwhelming. You don't feel comfortable. Here, you know, so safe and welcome. They've set the bar so high. They've done an amazing job with it.
The development of Qatar's footballing infrastructure since securing the right to host the World Cup in 2010 has been almost miraculous. 7 brand new football stadiums were built for the tournaments and are still being used now. In December 2024, Lusail Stadium hosted one of the world's most iconic football clubs, Real Madrid, in the FIFA Intercontinental Cup. It goes to show that the world-class facilities will attract the powerhouses of global football for years to come.
So we're back at the iconic Lusail Stadium. 2 years ago, Lionel Messi lifted the FIFA World Cup for Argentina, which was arguably the best World Cup ever. And now we're back here hosting the final of the FIFA Intercontinental Cup with big teams like Real Madrid and also the FIFA Arab Cup, which just shows the legacy that Qatar has carried on since the World Cup. Qatar is definitely getting the recognition around the world. Having the best stadiums and the best infrastructure just shows that Qatar is the sports hub for mega events.
Let's take a look into the future now and what else is on the horizon for Qatar. Starting from 2025, the country will host the next 5 editions of the Under-17s World Cup. It's a commitment that shows just how serious Qatar is about giving young players the opportunity to thrive and playing their part in the development of the next group of world-class footballers.
Hosting these such, especially under 17, it will give the chance for the young generation to feel and get the feeling of playing in a World Cup as a part of the strategy of developing the new grassroots in Qatar, giving the chance for these players to live the experience, to see a young player competing in such a tournament. It's a good chance for them. Also hosting the big tournament, hosting iconic player, giving them the chance to see a high level and high quality football. I think this will motivate them and improve, again, the skills, the lifestyle that they have.
The presence of the Arab world in global football is certainly here to stay. Morocco are the joint hosts of the 2030 World Cup and could even host the final. Meanwhile, Saudi Arabia were recently awarded the exclusive rights to host the 2034 edition. From a World Cup perspective, this has certainly been helped by the success of an iconic tournament hosted here in Qatar back in 2022.
No, it means a lot to us. We were very proud and very happy when Morocco was able to win the rights to host the World Cup alongside, of course, Portugal and Spain. And we were very supportive and excited when we knew Saudi also bid for the following edition of that World Cup. We look into the World Cup in Qatar. It really was a platform to build bridges, to educate the world about our region, about our culture, about our traditions, and to change the general perception about the region and really grow football globally. We are playing a big role in that, and I really look forward to having very strong teams competing in all competitions.
The future of football in Qatar and across the Middle East is certainly looking very bright. Let us know your favourite memories from the World Cup and Asian Cup using the hashtag #FootballNowQatarLegacy. That's all we've got time for, though, here from the Al Bayt Stadium in Qatar. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.